Hyperplane is a new AI startup that wants to bring AI to banks, and they've just emerged with $6 million in funding. So today on the podcast, we're going to be talking about who gave them the money, what they plan on doing that, and breaking down exactly what Hyperplane is and what they do. Before we get into this, I wanted to give a major shout out and thank you to the over $280,000 invested in our crowdfunding campaign on Republic. We have over 260 investors in this. So if you are interested in investing in a new AI startup, you can go to republic.com/AI-box, learn about our no-code app builder and marketplace that we're currently developing. Minimum investments are $150. Maximum investments are $100,000. We would love to have you on board for the journey, but let's get into the episode. Welcome to the world's #1 AI podcast, AI Chat. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. In a really big move to transform how banks understand and interact with their customers, so the San Francisco-based startup Hyperplane, it announced that it has emerged from stealth. They just raised $6 million, and this was led by former Stripe executive Lachi Groom, who also had, I think, SV Angel, Clock Tower Technology Ventures, Liquid 2 Ventures, Soma Capital, Latitude, Atman Capital, Crestone VC, and Nort. So all of them put money into this $6 million round. So Hyperplane's goal is essentially to leverage foundation models in AI to enable banks to predict customer behavior more accurately. And the startup essentially, having already established partnerships with about, I think, like 12 different banks in Brazil, they're now looking at expanding into the US markets. But banking is just kind of the beginning of Hyperplane. They actually have plans to extend their technology to other sectors in the future. So all of this company essentially comes from the co-founder Philippe Lormoner and Daniel Silva and Rona Rathmathan and Philippe Menesse. And so this is a pretty solid team which combines expertise from a bunch of different backgrounds, including Lemorier's experience in building the edtech startup Start SE in Brazil, and then Silva and Romaneth both worked at creating, I think, some large-scale AI systems at Google and LinkedIn. So a really solid team here. Ramath said, quote, "The core hypothesis we started was, what does it take to build a personalization layer for banks across the world?" So I think the team right now believes that if big tech companies can use first-party data to enhance customer experience, banks with, a lot of money, and should be able to do the same thing, essentially. So Laura Morner kind of highlighted the unique position of banks holding detailed and insightful data about customer behaviors. And I think more so than, what tech giants like Google or Facebook might have. So this data can actually prove a really in-depth understanding of a customer's lifestyle and also financial choices, which makes it a powerful tool for personalization. Now, for one, I don't know why. This isn't, honestly, great startup, great use case, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know why it kind of creeps me out thinking that my bank is going to, use all my purchasing, all my transaction history to make predictions and sell me stuff. And I don't know. Well, so here's something really interesting. Recently, there's a study that came out that said they could take when you're talking with ChatGPT, they essentially wrote a model. They could take your input prompts like what you asked it to do, and it could predict with a very high level of accuracy your gender, your financial status, your like a whole bunch of personal details about you, which is so interesting. I'm assuming Facebook could do the same thing just from your posts. It knows so much about you. You know, it used to be that Facebook and all these other people are buying and selling data, from banks and everyone else to figure out all this personal information about everyone. But now you really can just write AI models that can pretty much just defer a lot of information about you by the way you like write, which is so fascinating. But of course, I think an even more in-depth data source here is your purchasing decisions. But I've noticed that on my bank's app, like whenever I invest money onto like, let's say a crypto platform or onto like Robinhood for investing in stocks or something like that, there's like a little notification bubble for my bank that's like, hey, if you're interested in investing, you should try out like our in-house investment platform, yada, yada, yada. And just that, like, honestly bothers me so much that they're like injecting ads into my like transaction details when I'm like scrolling through my bank app. Bothers me so much. But so yeah, I don't know. I guess it all depends on how a bank rolls this out. But I do think it's obviously a useful technology. So whether I hate it or not, it's gonna happen. I think currently the banking sector is definitely behind in kind of offering these personalized experiences to a lot of their customers. So, of course, they have that one example that I have about investment stuff, but there's a lot of different areas that I think, like when you're talking about monetizing your customers, the banks are probably thinking about like insurance and, all those kind of things. So currently, I think the startup is giving APIs to banks, enabling them to build personalization models efficiently, and they're emphasizing privacy and security. So Hyperplane ensures that all deployments are private and involve no data sharing. Obviously, this is like critical and to this whole business working, I think. And Hyperplane offers two main modules. So one for building audience segments and another for creating lookalike audiences. And this approach of building task-specific models allows for more effective customization. So the company has also developed Mandelbrot LLM. This is a model designed to predict customer behavior, like churn or primary bank usage, which is very useful, very interesting. The startup's impact is already, I think, pretty solid, with one of their deployments in a Brazilian neobank's credit limit division seeing a 46% increase in transaction volumes. And I think that's obviously a success story that underscores just how much potential there is in AI kind of to unlock some of these insights from customer data. And this is, Laura Muirner specifically said, Brazil has been through an important pro-competition movement in the last decade, and today we see an ecosystem that is eager to adopt new technologies. So he kind of said that, hinting at the startup's growth prospects. They do have plans to announce partnerships in the US soon, so Hyperplane is essentially set to become a key player in the banking ecosystem here. They haven't announced anything yet, but I will keep you up to date as they do that. And I think, raising this $6 million coming out of stealth means that, they have kind of the war chest needed to get started and make a big splash in the US market as well. Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast, where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.